Let's go! February, 2000. Dose. Let's do this. You know exactly what time it is. It's 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, and that's the same time we're going to try to pop in every single weekday, trying to keep you up to date with everything in the sports and entertainment world. We try to bring it to you with a little gambling twist, but also the little twist that we like to do on sports. And when I say we, it's not just me. I need a teammate. I need somebody here to keep me in check. And that man, he goes by Aaron Raybold at Aaron is Blitz on Twitter. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready to rock. It seems like we got a lot of information to get to because usually these weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, it's a little dead. You know, it's media week that's coming up, and you start getting that, but you don't figure there's gonna be bombshells like things that could change the landscape of the NFL going forward types of bombs, and we're going to get to that. First, the phone lines are open, 281-522-6336. You know what time it is. It's time for you to get in on this show and voice your opinion. That's what this show was built for you to voice your opinion on anything that happens. For example, the Brian Flores news. We're going to get into that from every aspect. If you want to get in, 281-522-6336, or you can hit us up on our social medias. That's Aaron is Bliss. I'm Jerry Bo Sports. If you're not welcome or accustomed to our show, we are Odd Takes. If you've never watched us, you're going to like the way we present things. We try to bring it, again, in a flashy form, in a form that we try to get you to laugh. So without further ado, let's get to the topics today, man, because we got a lot to talk about. And first, we're going to get to the Flores fix. That's what we're calling it, the Flores fix. Unless you're under a rock for the last, I guess, about 24 hours, then you don't know about the news that's come out, but Brian Flores has basically started suing multiple teams, and he even calls them Jane Does, right? Or John Does. I'm sorry, John Does in the lawsuit, because it could be against anyone at this point. But more, he is circling that Giants organization, the Denver Broncos, and the Miami Dolphins. He's circling all three of them because he feels like he has a fair case. Basically, his first piece of evidence that he's going to bring to the table is a text exchange, in which that's where he found out. And basically, it's a text exchange between him and Bill Belichick of the, Patriots. I don't have to introduce him, Patriots head coach. The question here is, when Bill Belichick texts him back saying, he thinks you got the job, but then Brian Flores hasn't even interviewed, that's when all hell breaks loose, because then you start thinking Brian Flores, Brian Dable. There's no way that Bill Belichick being the guy he is, right? Like the analytical, the super smart, super sharp. Do you think he makes a mistake like that? Like, what does he have Brian Flores in his phone saved as? Just Brian, just Brian F, and then he messed up as Brian D?
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I know he didn't have that. Like, and even then, you saw them. They were iPhone messages, and when you go to your iPhones, when you just go to your general messages and stuff like that, at the top it'll put somebody's initials. So like at the top of the message, it would say BF, not BD, BF. So he knows either it's hilariously oversight on Belichick's part, or he knew what he was doing, and he's got some revenge he wants to exact on the league for, other accusations, other punishments over the years, where he said, you know what? Let's see if I can make this happen. Now, let's outline why Flores is suing these teams and the league in general, because he's also suing the league, saying that he was discriminated against and that he didn't get – the Rooney Rule is out there. The Rooney Rule says that every time there's a head coaching opening, teams have to interview at least one minority candidate for the job. So he was brought in for the Broncos job. He was brought in for the Giants job. The Texans have interviewed him. The Saints have interviewed him. The Saints interviewed him like when he was preparing this lawsuit with his lawyer.
Saints didn't want that smoke. They're like, you know what? Come on in. What else do you want?
there's an argument that, yeah, he deserves to be a head coach.
Yeah.
Now, is he a good head coach? Does he get guys to perform on the field? Yes. Have I also heard that he is the biggest asshole in the world? He is Bill Belichick Bill O'Brien 2.0? Yes. After watching how Bill O'Brien handled himself, and would you blame me if I were a GM or I were a team? I'm going, man, I've heard a lot of people say he treats it just like Bill O'Brien treated the Texans organization. I don't know if I want that guy. I don't know if I want that asshole walking around knifing everybody in the back, trying to climb the power rankings and get more power for himself. I don't know if I want that. So yes, I can see the argument of why a team would hire him, why a team wouldn't hire him. The real issue is the Giants brought him in 3 days after they reportedly told Brian Daboll, you got the job. Reportedly, they brought in Brian Daboll. He impressed them so much in his interview process, and they said, you've been in job interviews. I've been in job interviews where you get the job offer before the interview's over. You know there's a whole slew of candidates sitting out there waiting to be interviewed, and they're, you know what, we think this is going to work out. Why don't you go home? We'll send some paperwork over to your house. We'll go through this stuff. All right, cool, that works. And then you walk by those other 6, 7, 8 people, and you go, man, sounds like they're going to waste their time. But it happens.
And it very well could be. It very well could be that way. And like I said, it's just no telling the way it went down. And it just, because the Rooney Rule, then you start saying, is it a way that they already had their minds made up, and the Rooney Rule was just, they just try to make sure that they had the two, minority candidates come in? Who knows, but the timing of it, you're right. And maybe they made the mistake telling Daboll right off the top. My question here also is, how in the hell does Bill Belichick have so much intel on the Giants happenings? You know what I mean? And during that text exchange, you see just that as he knows. You see Flores realize during that text exchange, and it reads a little something like this. He says, Bill Belichick says, sounds like you have landed. Congrats. Flores comes back with, did you hear something I didn't hear? Belichick, Giants, ? Exclamation points. Flores, I interview you on Thursday. I think I have a shot at it. Then he comes back with like, oh, he's probably thinking, oh, here we go. What is he talking about? Because he's probably thinking, I already know that you got it. If he thought it was Daboll, he answers back with, got it. I hear from Buffalo and New York that you are their guy. I hope it works out if you want it. Definitely right there, Flores gets suspect because he comes back. That's definitely what I want. I hope you're right, Coach. Thank you. And he says, Coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian Daboll? Just making sure. Man, Belichick has nothing better to say than, quote, sorry, I fucked this up. I double checked and I misread the text. I think they are running with Daboll. I'm sorry about that.
Now, you bring up a good point. How does Belichick have that intel? I don't know who Brian Daboll's agent is, and it's not something that's public enough that you can just Google search it real quick, because I just did it 3 times just to make sure I wasn't typing stuff wrong. I don't know. I know Belichick is represented by Drew Rosenhaus, who is essentially the Scott Boras of the NFL. He was doing it before Boras was. So he's got a big, high, powerful agent. Agents talk to their guys. They talk to their clients. They let them know stuff like that, which is good. Also, Daboll knows Belichick, so it's not a surprise. Flores was under Belichick. My thing is if it was really an accident and he really wanted to save face, I feel like his response could have been much better than what it was. Instead of saying, oh man, I fucked up, and just be like, oh man, just keep your ear to the ground. I don't know. I heard they're gonna be looking for a Brian. It's got you and Dave. I feel like he wouldn't have gone, oh, that's my bad, man.
It's got some
he would have
sinister.
never admitted that he fucked it up.
It's some sinister into it.
Yeah. This is what makes me think that he knew what he was doing.
Payback?
I mean, Roger Goodell loves to try to make a scapegoat out of him.
Because this pulls the curtain way back. Way back. Now, the NFL coming out and basically, I don't want to use their term verbatim, but they're basically saying that, and that was their first reaction is, we don't really know, and I'll look up the exact term they used, but it was, we really don't know there's any findings yet, kind of thing. And it's kind of like they should say, you know what, we're going to investigate this heavily, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the case is, this is going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. It just, regardless if it's true or not, it's still going to get ugly because it's not going to go anywhere, because this talk has been going on for seasons. And now all of a sudden, what if Coley jumps in on this? And Coley's like, you know what? That 20-something odd million that they had to pay me out, that's not enough. I want some more. What if he gets involved? Before you know it, there's going to be a lot of minority coaches coming to the board being like, you know what, I didn't get a chance. I don't know if that's it or not, but something's got to change. It just opened up a can, is what I think.
The problem is that you're not filling a job for, accountant number 18 in a firm that, has 20 of them. You're filling one job out of 32. Just like the radio business, just like the TV business, most everybody, I've heard it, I've seen it, I've watched it. When certain radio companies post a job out there saying, we need a new on-air host for middays, they know who it is. They already hired who it is. They have to put it out there legally. They have to, quote unquote, open the door to everybody when they already know. That program director has already had a conversation, has already talked to the person, they've already negotiated salary, they have ink on paper, but they legally have to put it out there and say, well, if anybody else could come and do it, now's your chance to come and wow us when they know. Same thing for the NFL. These GMs, coaches don't just spring up out of nowhere. You don't go and find some guy who's a high school coach and go, hey, by the way, I think we should look at this guy. I think he's got something that would make him a great NFL head coach. That shit doesn't happen. They know. They all run in the same circles, and that's what happens. That's what happens in every industry. Whether it is accounting, whether it is lawn care, you run around in the same circles with people that you work with, and that's what happens. NFL jobs being one of 32, the second a job opens up, whoever's in charge of doing that hiring already has in his mind top 2 or top 1 candidate that he wants. Period, the end. And the fact that, they're going to say, okay, well, you have to include these minority candidates when they know that these GMs, these team presidents, these team owners already have their guy in mind. All it's doing is making them a token.
It puts you up for failure because you know what direction you're going. But then again, you ask yourself in a league that has it's ran by, most of the players are minority and African American. So like in a league like that, you figure that at one point or another, there's got to be more coaches because you figure that they know the game, and literally you don't see it. That's what I'm saying. It's a double-edged knife because if there's a guy out there saying it's my damn company, I'll do whatever the hell I want with it. Like it's mine. It's my team. I do whatever the hell with it. And that's the way it's been, and can you tell that guy no? No. Now, can you also say, is that fair to someone else that might be more qualified to be a coach? No, that's not fair at all. Does it happen in just the NFL? No, it happens in everyday life. So it's a matter of now he's made that decision, Flores, because, all right, for example, checking in here, Biggie from Twitch says he'll never coach again. I'm not sure about that, but he's never going to – it cuts off his legs for sure. They're not going to want to have him in building like this.
Well, not only that, the fact that you brought this up, the fact that you decided to go legal, and now he's doing hits on CBS this morning, that's what soccer moms watch while they're getting the kids ready for school. Like, yeah, he was on ESPN doing some stuff too, but he was on CBS this morning. That is what not the average sports person watches in the morning. And he's up there and calling his entire employer base racist because of the fact that they brought him in after the fact. No, their hiring practices are racist. Okay, you did that. You might be worthy of a head coaching job, but now in the back of his mind, he's going to have to think, oh man, if the Texans hire him, if the Saints hire him, are they bringing me in because they want to shut me up? Are they bringing me in because I'm the token now? Because that's now what it's going to look like. Is some people are going to look at it, and other candidates out there are going to look at it. Some minority, some not, are going to go, I could have gotten that job, but the league figured they had to bring him in to get him to shut up, or they had to bring him in because he's a black man. So let's bring him in, and it took somebody else's job. That's the thing and all of this stuff goes down to, yes, there's some GMs and there's some team presidents who leave it open of, we have a group of candidates in mind. We don't know. Like I said last week, I've heard from people who work in the league who said Eric Bieniemy comes in for job interviews completely unprepared. Other teams have interviewed him, and every time he doesn't stack up to the other candidates because the other candidates come in with a binder of stuff of this is what I want to do. This is who my targets are for assistants. This is the scheme I want to run. This is what I want to do on defense. This is what I want to do on offense. This is how I want to help the GM approach the draft because that's a dual thing. And Eric Bieniemy, from what I've heard, just walks in and sits down and goes, yeah, I want to be your head coach. Yeah, what do you want to do? I want to be your head coach. Do you have like a staff in mind? Well, yeah, I probably got some guys. Like, interviewing is a big part of the process, And if it is an open job and it isn't something that somebody already has their hand in and already has basically ink on paper through their agent, you have to be able to put your best foot forward. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying Brian Flores doesn't do that. I've heard that he does. He's a great interview.
And look at the team, like his performance on field. No one can say, man, he don't deserve a chance. You see what I'm saying? Because look what he's did with those Dolphins. Like, look at that
year, that tank for Tua year. Everybody, oh man, they're just gonna do it. They're gonna do it. They're gonna lose every game. He went out there and he got those guys to win, and he got those guys to win good games too at times. Which we're gonna get in the other part of this lawsuit. The fact that now he is alleging, one, Dolphins owner Stephen Ross had a incentive for him to lose every game and get the top draft pick.
That changes everything right there.
That changes a lot of things, but there's also, I mean, my take is going to piss people off. Stephen Ross was right. Brian Flores was wrong. You cannot say that.
What do you think, Twitch? Let it know. Yo, yo, yo. Let's give some yo's before we keep moving. Yo to everyone. Yo, White Magic's in the house. Dr. Dre, Alex Villanueva, Jefecito checking in from over state lines. Where you at? Arkansas, I believe, my man. Who else we got? Crystal's in the house. The first person in the house, Pepperoni Pickle. How can I not get the first one in the house? Pepperoni Pickle showed up first. Shout out to you, my man, and everyone else in between. Shout out to everyone hanging out. Go tell your friends right now if you want to help out this show. Go ahead and tweet it right now. Go wherever you are right now and tell somebody. Just post it right now on your social medias. Hey, come kick it with these guys. The more we can grow this, the more that we can give you. Maybe eventually we move it to more time. Who knows what's going to happen with this, but we plan on showing up every day at 1 and doing it like this. So what is your take on this? Does Brian Flores have a ground to stand on? Do you think he wins in court? Do you think there's not enough? Do you think he screwed himself? Like, where do you think this goes, Twitch? Let me know. Also, again, the phone line's open for you. That's 281-522-6336. If you want to get in anytime. I said the first person that calls and get in on any subject that we got, they get I'm going to make it a 3-day pass. 3-day pass if anybody calls into the show today and gets in on anything we're talking about. But let's go ahead and fast forward and connect one dot to another, because just the other day, you mentioned that the story had broke that the Dolphins were trying to trade 3 first-round picks to get Burrow at that around that timeline. So obviously that timeline, they had someone they had a picture of what they were trying to do. They wanted one of those big quarterbacks. Now you enter Flores into this situation, and now you're hearing that ownership came to him and said, "Hey, for every game you lose, we're going to give you $100,000." He came out today and said when they told him that it's not in his DNA, that he's out there to win. What do you guys think? Who's right or wrong? Aaron says he's on the owner side because he wants them to lose. He's going to pay him that so he can set himself up, the franchise, the way he wants it. So that's the owner's call on that. Do you put your guy in a bad position? Would you take the money? What do you think, Twitch? Let me know.
I mean, do I side 100% with Stephen Ross? No, but do I think when we're looking at it right now, who would have been that first overall pick? We know it. Joe Burrow. We just went on Monday. We gushed over how much Joe Burrow is a leader of men. He now has his team in the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't think one person can look at me and tell me honestly, oh yeah, the Dolphins did it right. And even though you got Tua and you missed out on Joe Burrow, yeah, they're in just as good of a position.
And Herbert. I mean, they screwed that whole thing up. They screwed that whole thing up for sure.
I mean, and that was the thing, is when you started the season, everybody went, oh, it's got to be it's got to be Tua. Everybody wants Tua. Tua's the guy in the draft.
Coming off a big injury.
And then all of a sudden that season started going on, and all of a sudden Joe Burrow lit the world on fire, and everybody went, oh, well, he's doing great. He's doing great. And then he became the number one. And that happens. A top QB comes out of nowhere. But Stephen Ross wanted the number one pick. And he had told Brian Flores from the jump, I want the number one pick. You were going to get me the number one pick, and you get a $100,000 bonus per game you lose. There's 16 games in the season. You lose all 16. Well, you do the math, buddy. $1.6 million. That's a good extra stipend on the end of your contract. And not only that, your boss is telling you to do something, to sabotage something. And while I get it, it's not in your DNA. You're almost guaranteeing job security. How much easier would it have been for Brian Flores to turn around and go, okay, then I want a 5-year fully guaranteed contract, because if I'm going to tear this thing down to the studs, wreck shop, I'm going to drive this car into the lake while it's drowning and stand on top of it. I want you to put faith in me that we can tow it out of the lake. We can rip it apart. I can rebuild the engine. I can redo the upholstery, and we can get this car back running.
That's tough, though, man. That's tough because you're coming from, it'd be a lot of trust. Like you said, you would have to put that on paper, and I don't think that the Dolphins, you're coming from the New England. Remember, he's one of those New England, that tree of coaches that came off of there that none of them have got it to work, but for whatever reason, everyone wants the New England way. He got it to work. Like, he made he had the Dolphins competing for playoff spots. He was interchanging quarterbacks. He was throwing in the relief quarterbacks. Some Fitzmagic, some Tua. Just think about that. How many times do you see winning teams be able to switch quarterbacks like this? This isn't NCAA. Just think about that. But at the same time, then you got people like, this isn't nothing new, because then Hugh Jackson came out, and then he came out and basically insinuated that his owner was happy during the time that he was coach. And someone said, man, I guarantee you that number wasn't $100,000. And he tweeted back, trust me, it was a good number. In response to that, the owner Haslam of the Browns at the time, he was happy. So what you start backtracking. How bad was current Grambling coach Hugh Jackson? 1-31 over the first 2 seasons. So if there's any truth to this, and if you remember back in gambling, okay, you guys that have been gambling for a while there, that's why I say take the sharp and the sharp and square stuff lightly. There was a while there about 5-6 years back that sharp bettors were betting Cleveland every week with the points because it was just too many points. And then talking about crazy things would happen at the end of those games. You were talking about like block punts and some fumbles to the house. And now I think back and I'm thinking, man, there was some sketchy things going on. I wonder what's going on. And also think about this. When the Browns finally fired him, he was off to a 2-5-1 start. They were like, those 2 wins, that's too much. Like that's too much. We got to slow this boat down. Now, so many angles to this. And again, if you got anything to say, 281-522-6336. Think back of the Astros-Yankees situation whenever the letter that was sealed, right? More the Yankees situation. None of the Astros, just Astros fans wanted the letter to be unsealed. The reason that even came to light is because some DFS players figured out, well, if there was cheating going on during that year, then there's got to be some kind of way that we can get our money back. So they lawyered up a group of these guys, and they took it. And they got all the way to the Supreme Court. I mean, they took it, right? Well, then check out how this is all going down, though. It's pretty much the same thing is coming to light. Isn't that crazy that we're still wondering about that seal letter, the way that things come to light?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, yeah, this is going to present the more truth that comes out of, were coaches paid to tank games? We all knew it. There was never any evidence. Now you have a coach who, I'm not going to say is dumb enough, but is bold enough to go out and just openly, yep, I was paid to cheat, because that's cheating. That's what it is. Not doing your job to the best of your ability is cheating the game. So now it's going to look at, and bettors are going to lose. And I said this almost 10 years ago now, because somebody had asked me something like, why don't you like European soccer and all this stuff? And I said, easy. You can see the cheating. You can see the corruption, not only in the league, but with refereeing, obviously. And at the time, I was naive enough to say, if Roger Goodell oversaw that kind of cheating, that blatant cheating that you could see, sports books and bookies would have him beheaded in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip on live TV. Literally. Like an old school guillotine. Just chopping his head off. Bam. Don't fuck with our money. I was naive to think that, that would happen. But it looks like, yeah, every one of these sports, everybody gushes about, baseball is the worst, that baseball is the most corrupt. All five fucking sports are corrupt.
There's integrity companies now that gambling's getting big. There's companies that are trying to play middlemen. That was the big hold up, and when gambling got legalized, like, all right, well, who's getting the money and how's this going to get distributed? And then these integrity companies popped up, and they were basically like, hey, we can be the integrity of it. We'll oversee things when something's funny. Like if a line starts moving crazy, we have enough intel to be able to research to see if it happened for a funny reason. Like we will be the integrity, but they wanted to take a piece whenever it started coming. For example, the NBA and all these teams that are hooking up with these leagues, they get a percent, they get a percent off of that. So these integrity companies, they wanted a percent, while sportsbooks are saying, we don't need you to be our middleman. We can handle our own business. Trust me, we've been doing this for years. We don't need you to come in here and oversee things. We're not going to get screwed. Trust me, if something crazy happens, we're going to be on it. And that's where, like, I'm telling you, when everything got legalized in that PASPA Act and all that started happening, everyone wanted a percent, just at least 1%. Imagine of the billions of dollars that come in every freaking month now, everyone wanted just whether it was a 0.5%, 1%, whatever. Those integrity companies didn't make much moves, though, because the books got their own. They said, man, we'll figure out our own way. We're not giving up a percent of anything. That's where we are. Let's move forward a little bit, though. And if you're a gambler and you're feeling some type of way, like, man, I know I lost on those games. Where do I go? I guarantee you there's a lawyer out there that's a gambler, and he's probably starting up a little movement right now saying, man, we're going to fight. We're going to fight this. Now let's go to worst, craziest gamblers, right? Worst, craziest gamblers, what I want to get to today, because we all got bad stories, right? We've all been to the casino. We've all been there. We've all seen some crazy things happen. But the other day at the 76ers game, at the halftime show, or I don't know if it was between quarters, but this has made its rounds. And this is what occurred during a blackjack giveaway.
All right, 76ers fans, it's now time for Parks Casino Blackjack. I'm here with my main man, Austin. He's going to go head-to-head with Franklin in a
Look at this fool.
game of blackjack. We know how this goes. You got to get as close to 21 as possible without going over. Are you ready? Yeah. Let's get to it, brother. Let's get to it.
What you doing?
Okay.
Odd takers.
You want to hit or stay, brother? He said he want to hit. Okay.
Dealer showing 17, right? So you're like, I got a hit. I've got 13. You're like, goodness.
Oh.
A push ain't never hurt nobody, right?
You want to hit or stay?
You're like, man, a push ain't never hurt nobody.
You going to hit?
Hit? Who is this guy? 20! At this point, you're high-fiving everyone right? You're at the casino. You're like, yeah. And then you start looking at him like, bro, you're not going to hit this and screw the whole table, right?
He said he want one more hit.
I'm throwing him in the chokehold right here, Aaron. What is this fool playing? 31? What is he playing? 31? We're still going to hook you up with the prize pack. I thought it was a setup. I thought it was going to come an ace at the end. Like, oh, he hit 21. I'm like, where are they going with this? That was not set up, because you saw the reaction on his face. Like, oh, man. Like, what the hell was he doing? He thought he had – where the hell was he going with this?
I kind of want to blame the in-game, the in-stadium host, because if you're going to do this, you got to ask him, hey, do you know how to play blackjack? Do you understand the rules of the game? Do you understand the goal of this game? You have to get to 21 or as close to it without going over. That should have been number one. When he gets there and he goes, all right, guys, we're down here with Brian on the court, and he's going to play blackjack. Brian, do you understand the rules of blackjack? No, I never heard of it.
He should have got it from the crowd.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you're trying to get as close to 21 as you can without going over. So just you versus the dealer. Whoever gets close to 21 without going over wins. Deal? All right, cool. Let's go. And
the crowd, stay.
Yeah.
Stay. And what does the crowd think? Stay.
Yeah, you've got to Bob Barker that up a little bit.
You've got
to be able to Wheel of Fortune, or not Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right it, where you look around and you go, all right, Brian, you're going to hit on 20. The crowd says you're dumb. What do you think? You sure you want to hit?
We've all been there, though, as gamblers, though, in a casino, either whether you're on a hot streak and then imagine if somebody does that at a table and you're like, are you really, when they split, imagine when people split kings or something, they split tens. You look at them like, what are you doing? Think about it. Have you ever seen someone split tens? You're like, man, what is about to happen throughout this session? Like, who are you? Are you real? Because that happens all the time. People can split tens and say, man, I ain't worried about nobody else. The dealer's got a 4. I'm going to split these tens, man.
I mean, I'm not going to out which casino I was at because, whoever owns it will probably go and hunt that dealer down. But there was Middle of the day, nothing going on. Dead ass casino. Me, dealer, just playing blackjack every now and then. Then somebody came, sit down. Every move he was making was just beyond stupid. Beyond stupid. And so I finally looked at him. I was like, you know what you're doing? He's like, yeah, man, I play all the time. I was like, and I could tell he was a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
But she knew he was drunk. And so then he goes to split tens. And she looks at him. She goes, are you sure? Because you told me. Technically, I have to do it. But I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you sure? Yeah, split them. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to go. And
are you sure?
And she does it again. She goes, this is my third time making sure. You want to split tens. I am showing an 8. You want to split tens. He goes, yeah, give it.
I'm on fire.
He goes,
you've seen this at the casino all the time.
And I'm cheap. I'm a cheap ass. I'll find $5, $10 hands. Yeah. I'm at a $10 hand table. He's throwing $50 a hand down.
You're like, whoa.
So then he splits them to $100 on the table. Busts both of them immediately.
Did you lose the hand too or no?
No, I won because she took what would have been and ended up busting herself.
Okay.
But I sat there. She was showing 8. I had, I think, 13 at the time. I hit. I got the 5, and I was like, done. I'll push. I'll call a push. I'm good.
We've all been at the craps table, and then drunk dude walks up in the middle of a roll, right? You're in the table's hot, and everyone's going down, and he hasn't crapped, and then all of a sudden, this dude walks up just holding the game up, too. He throws his money all crumbled up right in the middle of the table where all the chips are, right? And then the dealers look at him, you're like, man, this is bad news. Bad news. Then he gets the chips, and then he throws them just like in one stack, like right where the dice are going. And then here comes the dice roller, and it hits those chips. You just know that damn next roll is 7. 7 out. You don't even look. You just look back in the air, and they go, 7 out. You're like, why the hell did you do that? I don't know if it's superstition. I don't know what it is. But inside a casino, you're on a high alert. You're just looking around like, Are you watch, like, do you feel like if you walk up to a slot machine and it says somebody just pulled out like winner paid $850, you're like, man, let me play something else? Yeah.
I'll walk somewhere else.
That thing's not trying to pay me right.
I'll walk away. Like anytime I'm at a casino, because blackjack's my favorite, I'll sit there and I'll watch for a good 30 minutes. I'll just stare. It doesn't matter how many people are at the table. It could be 2 people. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch. And it's not because I can count cards because I'm too stupid for that. But I sit there and I watch how, just like in a poker game, I watch how everybody plays because I want to pick where I'm going to sit at that table based on how reckless people are around. And the great thing is every now and then you'll sit at a table with a little old lady in her 80s or 90s who knows, she knows how to play the game. She's been doing it for 90 years, and she'll sit there and she'll coach you. Last fall I was on a cruise and I found the casino on the cruise, of course.
Like,
I sit down on a table with 5 old ladies. And they're sitting there, and the dealer's like this 20-something-year-old dude.
Slims.
No, I found the non-smoking one, luckily.
Okay.
But so they're sitting there, and they're teasing the dealer. I feel bad for the dude. He's like in his mid-20s, and they kept they'd be like, "Oops, I dropped my chips. Will you turn over and bend over and pick them up?" I was like, "You horny old lady. He's just like a 25-year-old dude. Come on." But I sat at the very end. I sat at the back of the bus, and we sat there for a while, and we cleaned up that table, a couple $100 worth, and then they were like, all right, it's 8:30. It's time for bed. I was like, 8:30. I could use y'all to squeeze out a couple $100 more, please.
What's your craziest gambling stories that you've ever seen? Let me know, Twitch, if you want to call in with one. Man, one time I was Isle Capri. Whenever it was still the Isle Capri, had the boats, it would actually take off. But even when it was parked, I was on the left-hand side when the tower still existed. That's how old school it was. I saw a dude just keep betting, doubling up, basically like a martingale system. Just keep doubling up. Hopefully they eventually... all he has to do is win in like 12, 13 rolls. This guy lost and lost. He got to about that 8th roll. He lost and he walked off pissed. And in a little bit, about 2 minutes later, I hear the alarms go off and they're like, pew, pew. I'm like, what happened? This fool was trying to jump off the ledge in Lake Charles. I'm like, dang. He was just real hype a minute ago. He was double fisting. When the guy's double fisting up in the casino and he's throwing around money and then he loses and he killed both of them and then he was about to go kill himself. He was jumping into the water. Old stories. Let me know yours. This is all it takes. Hey, don't go anywhere. Go ahead and tell your friends right now. Go to Twitter, Facebook, wherever, Instagram, and let them know, hey, this show's going on. Come kick it with us. I'm about to give away some stuff. If you went in on the Super Bowl squares, I'm going to give those out as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Hope we didn't keep you waiting too long. I hope you enjoyed the news scroll. That's what we're trying to do here. Keep you entertained, but keep you informed as well. We're going to have fun, but we're also going to make this informative. We're trying to keep you up to date with everything in the sports world. Shout out to my man Gavin behind the scenes. He's the one that makes sure that all this stuff looks the way it looks for you guys. Then he hooks up with Aaron, and all I got to do is come out here and just talk a little bit. The other guys that make all the magic. So shout out to Aaron. Shout out to my man Gavin Dunaway behind the scenes and making sure that it all goes down. How do y'all feel about the Washington Commanders? I saw that that came across the screen. Funny how it was discovered, right? Like, what idiots.
Yeah, whoever's in charge of this. So I said this years ago. Every company needs to have, and I'm you know what? I'm an employee now. I might start my own company. It's going to be called What's the Worst That Could Happen, Inc. All right, there's 30, 40 of y'all here. Don't take this idea. But I'm going to start my own company. And all these billion-dollar corporations are going to contact me. They're going to sit me down in a room and they're going to go, this is our idea. This is our next big thing. What's the worst that could happen? And so I'm going to use my knowledge of pop culture and shit going around. And I always like to make sure all my bases are covered. And I'm going to go, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. Now, if you do these two things, this one won't matter. They found out the Commander's name because they put up banners inside FedEx Stadium, inside the gift shop and all that, and a helicopter happened to be going by and just zoomed in through the windows and saw Commanders in the Washington colors. How dumb are you to do this without blacking out the windows? That black film, it costs maybe $500 for a team. You get a group of guys out there, you black out all the windows, you change everything out, then you announce it, then you pull them down. It's that easy. We
got two people here saying they don't feel the name. Chuck D, surprise, a Dallas fan says, dumb name, dumb team. It's a January edition. It's Sunday night football. It's Cowboys, Commanders, next. Does that feel you do you feel some type of way? It's Cowboys, Commanders, next. I don't know. I don't know if it does it for me. Let's get to the lightning round where we just go around the world, or whatever it is, whether it's sports, whether it's the chili wars. I'm here. Yesterday we saw Cincinnati Bengal fan acting a certain type of way. Chili was being chugged. Well, now Hormel chili has come out, and do we got the display up, the graphic? There we go. Hormel chili came out and dropped this in a build-up into the Super Bowl.
The question wasn't should we, it was could we. 1 can, over 1,000 servings, 10,000% of your daily recommended yum. Introducing the greatest appetizer ever made of all time.
Ooh.
The Hormel Chili Cheese Keg.
I need this.
Tap into greatness. Enter for your chance to win at HormelChiliCheeseKeg.com.
Well, what do you guys think about the chili cheese keg? Also, it comes with a adjustable internal heating element. Yesterday we were talking about chugging cold chili. Well, your chili won't be cold if you have this keg. Only problem is there's only going to be one of them. I'm sure that this is going to lead to those little mini kegs like you used to see at the grocery store, the little Heineken ones.
They still got them.
Do they?
Everybody's doing them now.
Okay, see, they caught on. So eventually it's going to be a chili war, and you're going to be able to get, I don't know about having my chili and cheese mixed like that already, right? Like, I like it. Give it to me separate.
I'm not against it for the marketing purpose, for what it is, especially because, they're going to get they're getting run on this show. They're going to get run on, 90% of radio shows, TV shows across the nation. I'm not against it. I'd be open to try it, but an entire keg of chili cheese. Do you know how many people you got to invite over?
It's 1,000 servings.
Yeah. And even if you have friends that like to eat a lot, even if you make it a whole day thing, you start your Super Bowl party at 9 a.m. Chili's hot, ready to go. You start with breakfast hot dogs. You do breakfast chili cheese dogs. You put some egg in between, the hot dog and the chili cheese, whatever. Do you know how many people you have to have there to get rid of that in one day?
Chili all day. Just chili on everything. Chili on your eggs. Chili for lunch. Then your friends come over and you got the worst fucking heartburn ever. You're just sitting there like, damn, y'all want some chili? And they're like, yeah, I'll mess with a little bit. So you just start offing it on them, and you're just pumping chili out this keg. And now the chili keg stands start. You're like, who wants a chili keg stand? Before you know it, it's trouble. It's trouble.
Not only that, you got
Bubble
chili
guts.
gut. Yeah, you got chili gut, and then you're going to be pounding beers all day watching the game.
AKA the bubble guts, AKA there ain't enough restrooms in this house to host this kind of party. And be careful with what you wish for, because it's real funny. It's real cute to say, man, I want that chili cheese keg, but you ain't eating all that cheese, and it's going to go to waste. I tell you about cheese, though, and I tell you about cheese turn to bread, and bread turns to money. And one Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan can have a big payday coming his way thanks to Tom Brady's retirement. We talked about it the other day, that Mike Evans ball. Ironically, he was the one that caught the 500 touchdown. They had to give it back from a fan that I think was grossly underpaid for that. Do you think, what was it, $1 Bitcoin, $1,000 gift card to the team store, tickets to every home game for the rest of the season, and they said keys to the city, whatever the hell that means. They said that ball was valued at $500K at the least. So if that was his 500 touchdown, what is worth more, the 500th touchdown ball or the final touchdown that he threw to Mike Evans in that last game? Which ball is worth more? Let me know. 1, for the touchdown record, or 2, for his last touchdown. Twitch, what do you guys think? Which ball is worth more? What do you think, Aaron?
I think it's the last touchdown Tom Brady ever threw in the NFL.
Yeah. They said Wilt Chamberlain's ball, the ball that he last scored with in his last game, sold for easy $500,000. Not to take away anything from Big Wilt, but I think that Brady ball goes for more than $500K then. Like, imagine if you hold on to that thing for about 10 years. Like, if I'm that guy, I'm not talking to anybody. Like, I'm just chilling right now. Talk to my I'm going to get a lawyer. I don't even have a lawyer at that time. I'm calling a lawyer and saying, hey, I got this ball. You want to talk? He's going to say, what kind of ball? You show him the proof? Yeah, let's slow down. Don't tell him to call me, not call you. Like, don't let go of that ball if you're out there. One Bitcoin isn't enough.
Not only that, you got to there's companies out there that will authenticate it and make sure it's the same. So you'll show them the picture of, hey, here's them handing me the ball. This is the same ball. They can look at it. They can also go and make sure and look at it and go, yep, this is the exact same ball the NFL uses. Yep, the serial number comes off of that batch of balls that what was it, Wilson? Makes those balls. That serial number went to the NFL, so it is an NFL ball. You get it authenticated, and then I say you get a giant safe, a fireproof safe. You put that ball in there, and you wait until the day that Tom Brady's Hall of Fame ballot comes out, the day he becomes a candidate for the Hall of Fame, and then you go in, take it out, dust it off, go back to social media. His final ball, his final touchdown. You put fans against the NFL. You tell the league, you want this to go into Canton with him? This is his final touchdown ball.
Oh,
he can have it.
It's a fight for it.
But you're going to pay through the nose.
Imagine, that's not just anybody's last ball. That's the guy they consider the GOAT. I mean, that's the last touchdown. That's got to go for more than $500K. And if you sit on it, I was about to say, I'm waiting until he dies. Well, that's going to be a long time, because Tom Brady's going to outlive everyone. Like, Tom Brady the way this fool eats, all that guacamole, avocado life, Tom Brady's living to about 112 at least the way that man has lived his life. But it's crazy, man. These balls, like Mike Evans should have known better, man. He's already been in that position. Just he didn't even think about it. Burns Ramsey, he's just thinking about it like, all right, we're still down in this game. He chunked into the crowd. Imagine, as soon as you catch that ball, you thought about it. Like, if you're that guy, you're thinking, man, do you even sit around for the rest of the game? Like, do you sit around for the rest of that game? Because the Bucs were still down, remember? So you're at home, and you're thinking, or do I get out of here before this gets crazy? I'm getting out. I'm putting that ball, I'm walking out of that thing pregnant. I'm walking out of that thing like this. Just like, what do you have, sir? It's none of your business. Escort me out of this thing. My whole family's going to eat off of this.
I'm sticking around. I'm watching that game just on the off chance something crazy happens and they want that ball for some reason. Because if the Bucs come up to me after the game and go, hey, we would really like that ball back. I know that it's yours now. You get to keep it, but we'd really like it. I start negotiating immediately, and if it doesn't meet my over-the-top expectations, I go, nah, I'll just wait it out. That's me, though.
The NBA, again, the phone lines are open, 281-522-6336. What are you doing with that ball? You holding on to it? You selling it? NBA selling out's what they're doing. I'm glad that I was a 90s kid because I could say that I watched the real dunk contest. You know, when the big ballers were going out there and slamming, and it was a show. The lineup has been announced, and I guess Houston Rockets fans can jump because Jalen Green will headline it. And then it's followed by Obi Toppin, which was in last year, Cole Anthony, and Juan Toscano Anderson. Does that catch your attention?
Who?
His mom just heard. She's like, man, I know this fool. I know that name. That's how unknown this guy is. Family doesn't even recognize the name. Now, is this something that you want to see? Before, for a while, it was going to be like, man, let us see Zion. Let us see this. Like, we're never going to get that. If you're a player, are you even worried about dunking anymore? Or are you just thinking, man, I need that weekend pretty much. I don't need to be out there attempting to hurt myself. Back in the day, they were going at it.
Yeah, I think the dunk contest is on the downhill now. I think no matter what, nobody's going to top, jumping over a freaking car. Nobody's going to, I put the ball up on the very top. I grabbed it, went through the legs. Like, nothing's going to top all that we've seen.
Right?
You're running out of ideas.
That's what I've always thought every year. Like, man, you run out of – so you had it to where who was it? Green from Houston was blowing out the cupcake, putting a cupcake on the rim.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, just think about whenever at first there wasn't even props being used. Then you started getting Dwight Howard coming out in Superman booth.
Dwight Howard had the court built at his home so he could practice, and then he had a coach come over to his house at the time when he did the Superman one, and he had them coaching him every year of, all right, let's rework this, let's do this, let's change it up. Now there's not much, like, if you're a coach or you're somebody who gets asked to come over and do this, what are you going to say? I mean, you could jump over an airplane. I'm human. I can't jump over an airplane. Well, we already did car. Can you jump over a kid running through on a bike? Yeah, but what kid's going to want to run underneath a grown man on a bike that weighs 250 pounds?
Yeah.
And
then they went from, the 180 windmill, and all of a sudden they were like, dang, he could do a 360. And where are we going to stop? The 720? What is this, Tony Hawk skateboarding? Where you're you're going into the 1100s. You're doing all types of crazy moves in that game. No, this isn't Tony Hawk's. This is real life. And I think boys are running out. How boring has it been lately whenever it's in that final round and the dunker keeps missing and missing? And you're like, bro, I mean, how does he feel inside? At that point, it's just like, man, let's get out of here. It's gotten so bad, just NBA All-Star Weekend overall, that they had to change the rules in the final game to make it competitive.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is.
That's the thing, is that when you change the rules for the dunk contest, you screwed it up. You get one shot. I don't care. You've been practicing this. All these guys have been practicing at home, practicing at the gym. If you're not going to get it in one shot, sorry. It's a dunk contest. We're not going out here so you can tear an ACL or snap your ankle and then you get disability for the rest of the time from the NBA. You get one shot. You miss it? Oh, well, it's a dunk contest. Oh, you get $1 million. Cool. How much are you getting paid? Most of these guys are already making good deals. That $1 million is nice to a normal person. To them, it's cool. I got $1 million. I can give it to my homeboy.
Dr. Dre says he's old school. He's Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. Yeah, that's old school. Remember the 90s when they would have the celebrity games? They used to have the MTV Rockin' Jock. You remember that? It would have all types of people out there, just random people you knew shouldn't be out there. Now when they do the celebrity game, you always have that one tryhard. It was like Justin Bieber one year, and Justin Bieber was out there chopping. You're like, damn, Bieber's got hoops. Bieber got the MVP. Bieber went off. Now all of a sudden you got Quavo. You got Quavo from the Migos. They said Quavo almost went to damn college playing basketball. I seen Quavo. I said, man, where are the bets for MVP in the celebrity game? Because Quavo was out there. He was out there really, really trying. Like, he didn't want to look bad. And that tells you a lot, man. So things that are falling off an NBA All-Star Weekend, I'm a fan. They always get me one way or another. On that Saturday night, I pull up, pour a beer, and hope for the best. But it's nothing like when we were our kids and we were watching, flights.
I think with the exception of probably the home run derby, even the MLB All-Star game is not fun. The home run derby which still has too many chances, too many rounds. The Home Run Derby and NHL All-Star stuff, those are the only two that haven't really jumped the shark. And later on down the line, in a future show, we're going to have to get into the NHL's All-Star plans because they're doing it in Vegas, and that just sounds ridiculous, all the events that they have. But those NBA All-Star Weekend, Pro Bowl, they got rid of the skills competition. They got rid of all that fun, who can throw at the entire football field. Because you remember having 5, 6, 7 of those big-name quarterbacks sitting there on the end zone, the back line in the end zone, talking trash to each other the whole time.
Moving targets.
Yeah. You couldn't even hit the 5-yard line.
That was fun, man.
And then just stepping up and ripping it and throwing their shoulder out of socket, trying to just man up and outperform the guys who they play with every day.
Then when the drone era came around, they were dropping balls on receivers from drones and making them catch it. It's just ridiculous stuff, but stuff that you wanted to. I'd rather watch that than the Pro Bowl. Like I'd rather watch these events and let's see who's got the best arm. Let's see who can do let's go back to Double Dare. I don't care. Let's see these people start doing the Double Dare challenge from Nickelodeon. I don't care. The Pro Bowl is just wore out to me. You see, they're trying to change rules as well. Inside the 2 minutes this happens. They're trying to make it exciting, and it's just not.
Screw the celebrity game. Bring in, instead of the rising stars where it's the young kid or like the first years versus the second years, take the best of the first and second year players, make them play against the Harlem Globetrotters. Let the Globetrotters just run the court with them by being able to throw behind the back and all that. And all these kids are running around going, oh, crap, where's the ball? I can't figure it out. Let them get schooled by some guys who actually can put the entertainment in the game and see what happens. But rising stars, the dunk contest, the skills contest, all of it's just overplayed, and it's not worth my time anymore.
And those tickets are not cheap. I've been to one of those All-Star weekends. You're in there thinking, man, what the hell did I just pay for this skills challenge? Like, what the hell did I just do? And that's what comes along with it. Now, it seems like we've almost run out of time. What do you think, Twitch? If we get a bunch of yes in the Twitch right now, we'll give you an encore 10 minutes. We'll go about 10, 15 minutes because we got a little something to get to. So what do you guys think? Do we keep going? Shout out to everyone still hanging out. I see the Aggie Milkman is in the house. Shout out to you, my man. No hat today. He always asks for my hat. Alex Villanueva says the 90s celebrity games were the best. What do y'all think? Give it 15 more minutes, 10 minutes. Let's keep rocking this. Let's do it like this. I see some people hanging on. Hey, do this favor then. Go over to YouTube. I know you got YouTube. Don't even lie to me. Your phone comes with YouTube, right? So go over your phone right now. Go to YouTube and type in We Bet ATS, all one word, and then hit the thumbs up button because that's how our stuff will get into play. It'll mess with the algorithm and our stuff will start getting bumped. So we need a lot of thumbs up over there on the YouTube channel, and that'll get us our stuff in play. So, yeah, overtime. Everybody wants OT. Let's go, because we're going to talk props. And we're going to talk a lot of the props that are coming with the Super Bowl. Go ahead and look at that. Look at that props. We're a little fancy here. Look what we do for you. This is what we do behind the scenes. We try to get to look like a TV show. I love this. Pal props. Because everyone knows that when the Super Bowl comes around, there's usually more prop bets than there usually probably is game bets. And that all started back in the day when, if you don't know the history behind props, it started on the Refrigerator Perry touchdown when everybody thought it was going to be, if it's going to be a Russian touchdown, it would be Walter Payton. And whenever the Bears got the ball down there and everybody thought Walter Payton was going to get the ball, instead it was Refrigerator Perry. That was the first year that sports books ever had released props in Vegas. Not very many people knew about it, and I believe it was at 100-1 for Refrigerator Perry. The house got cleaned out, and before you know it, now there's over 1,200 props that you can find in these games. Props from anything and everything in between. Let me get to a few things from this year because I'm looking for an angle. I'm already shooting. For example, let's get to the national anthem. Let's pull up this graphic here with the national anthem, and let's let them have it. There's national anthems that are slow, fast, but what you most concentrate on, and Aaron made a great point, is the length of the brave, right? Like, don't even let me sing. I might break this. I might end the stream singing. But the way that they hold the note on the brave usually tells you what kind of where your bet lands, because it's usually those seconds. Some of them hold it extra long. Some of them cut it off. Now, this year we got Mickey Guyton singing it. So there I go. I had to go research. And then this is what I found. No, we're not going to watch the whole thing, but look, she's fast. She's going. Go, girl. Doom, 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 doom. She's going. Go to about 110. Let's hear this Brave. This is where you're like, stop. Like, stop. You're telling your friend, stop. It's when the Brave, not when the music starts. It's whenever it stops. It's whenever she, and also at the beginning, it's whenever she starts, not the actual music. So if you look at that, that whole thing was 1:30. A minute.
Well, the Brave ends at 125.
Goodness.
The last V of the Brave is 125. So if you're, depending on what your book has, it's 80. That's 85 seconds right there.
Now, I'm seeing a lot of these books. They got it set accordingly. 95 seconds is what they got it at a lot of books. That would be the record. That would be the record of shortest ever. And I believe that is 133. Let me see. The Chicks had 133. I mean, just last year was 216. You did have a duo, so you got to let them both. The national anthem for Demi Lovato was 155. She went 149. Let me get out of here. 149. Gladys Knight, she held that Brave. And she was brave as hell. From 147 it was set. She went 201 and went over. Pink, under. Luke Bryan, under. Lady Gaga hit. Hey, imagine Lady Gaga. Imagine betting on it in Super Bowl 50. It was 222. It landed on 222. Like, you know, you're calling them like, no. I know that it ended between. They're like, nope. Let's call this a push.
I'm seeing one book with it at 127.
See? You see? That's a scary proposition. That's a scary man. 127, you're sweating the whole time. You're just thinking, please, just go.
Oh yeah.
Billy Joel, Super Bowl 41. Billy Joel did it in 1:30. Billy Joel said, I don't even care. Let me get out of here. Kelly Clarkson, 1:34. If it hits that number that you're talking about, that would be the record. Where are you betting it? Are you a national anthem coin flip type guy?
I am, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely on the national anthem because I like you. I'll go back and I'll research past performances and stuff like that. But also at the same time, I understand. I try to get in the psychological space of these artists because when they're on stage, you know, she did that for PBS for something. So she was moving around. She wanted to get it over with, stuff like that. This is the Super Bowl. This is the stage when you're singing the national anthem. Period. The end. These artists want to get through it usually, but their brain makes them drag it out a little bit longer, because you have how many people is SoFi seat? Almost 100,000 sitting there screaming. You've got TV cameras. You've got everybody you've ever met in your life watching you do this. I think she's going to drag it out, especially with that 1:27 that I'm seeing. I'm going over on it. Now, I'm going to pay a little extra juice, but I think she goes 132.
Uh-oh. There you go. 132 is what you got. All right, check these halftime props out. Now, we know that it's a star list, right? Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem. Who comes out first? For sure, I don't think it's Dr. Dre or Snoop or Eminem. I think they come out together with Dr. Dre and Eminem. Maybe Snoop joins them. Who knows? I can't see Kendrick Lamar coming out first. That's Kendrick. So it's got to be Mary, right? Or is it not too hype if Mary comes out first? Because Mary is at plus 150, Kendrick Lamar plus 225, Snoop plus 325, Dr. Dre plus 450, and Eminem plus 500.
Oh, man.
What do you guys think, Twitch? Who comes out first? Is it Mary? Is it Eminem? Is it Kendrick? Is it Snoop? Or is it Dre?
I'm between Snoop and Eminem.
There's some good pay right there. There's plus 325 plus 450. Will any part of Eminem's performance have to be censored? Yes, at minus 175. So TV broadcasts are on pins and needles saying whoever you are, you better catch that. You better catch that mute button when he starts going off. When he starts, you better hit that button. You better hit that button. We're not cussing. We're not dropping the ball on the Super Bowl halftime show. Someone's job is going to be to stop these guys. Whose job is it to stop Snoop smoking? He's at plus 200 to light up a joint during the halftime show. And this is all at Bet US. You can have it right now. Will Eminem make a political statement? Minus 140 is favored that he will. He's an anti-Trump guy, so he might just say.
But that's the thing is that, if this were a year ago, yeah, maybe, but he's not president anymore. So if he does it, he looks like a child who's throwing the fit because I still didn't get dessert on Sunday night when you told me I could. Well, it's Wednesday night now. Get over it. Like, get over your shit. See, this is my thing is I don't know if you know that the networks don't want him to because people will tune that out.
Yeah.
Easily. But at the same time, I don't know if any of the other performers want him to.
No.
Because this is about the performance, the music, doing this in Inglewood. This is something like a homecoming. This is something huge. I don't think they want the attention taken off of them and put on something else. Because that's what you do. When you do any of this call out and I'm going to speak on this, you're taking the microphone, you're taking the camera off of yourself, and you're putting it on something else.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of these performers want that for this Super Bowl halftime show.
Will Eminem want to come out to Lose Yourself? My Name Is, The Real Slim Shady, Without Me, or Stan? I for sure don't see him singing Stan up in there talking about a stalker trying to hurt himself. So Stan.
Although, not for the opening, but does he not have Mary do the Dido?
Please don't go, man. That would be crazy. Lose Yourself. I could see him singing Lose Yourself. Now, does he open it up? Because lose yourself in the moment. And they're like, okay, yeah, the Super Bowl moment. Is that his first song, though? Or does he save that before he leaves? Like right before he gets off stage, is he done? That's a code. The Real Slim Shady or My Name Is. I can't really see him coming out. Hi, my name is. Hi, my name is. Picky. I don't see that. I just don't see it. Like it's just not hype enough for a Super Bowl. Lose Yourself is in there somewhere for sure. Just, I don't know where.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he does Real Slim Shady because then he tells everybody to stand up. Yeah. Everybody in the crowd. That would not surprise me.
Will all 5 artists collaborate together for one song at one point or another? Or do they got to get like Mary? All right, you had your moment to get off. Or are they going to say, Mary, stick around for it? Like, for example, for yours. Or do they say, no, let's just get in and out and leave it with. I think the perfect picture would be having Dre and Snoop up there for the end of it, just being that. And then, Eminem comes and does his thing. He eventually walks off, and it's kind of Snoop and Dre just sitting up there. I think that would be a perfect ending to that, to the greatest, whatever they say. They're saying it's the greatest Super Bowl halftime performance yet, supposedly.
I don't think all 5 of them are going to be on the stage at the same time doing a song together. Personally, I don't think they're going to go. I don't think they're cheesy enough to do medley of like, here's 20 seconds of a Mary song. Here's 20 seconds of an Eminem song. Here's 20 seconds of a Kendrick take. I don't think they're corny enough to do that because that is a very corny thing to do. But I could be wrong. Everyone
on Twitch is on Mary, saying that Mary's going to come out first. Dr. Dre says Mary's going to come out with Let's Get It Started. And it very well could be that. I could see that. That's it, man. I got to find Mary first song props for real because Rolling in My 6'4" by Snoop and Dre. I'm telling you, they're going to act crazy up there. And if all this craziness is going to be going on, I need my plus money when Snoop lights something up. You're going to be like the Leo DiCaprio gif, like when he just pointing like, yeah, him right. Like you're going to be like, oh, there it is. Exactly what you're going to think of because he is going to light it up on that stage. I believe so. But that's all the props we've got. We got 2 weeks of these props to get to. So we just wanted to kind of touch base on the halftime, the anthem stuff. We're going to get into the real props, which is the Super Bowl MVPs. Are there going to be any safeties, the first touchdown, just a little bit of everything. But we hope that you enjoyed today's show. We gave you the encore. All right, we gave you the encore. What else can we do? All right. This is a busy man. I'm lucky to even have him here. I got to get him in here, and I got to take advantage every time he gets here. Like, man, let's put this together. Let's put together the best show we can, and that's what we do every single day during the week, baby. Monday through Friday, 1 to 2, and sometimes a little over. We're going to call it injury time. We're going to call it stoppage time because we're soccer heads, right? Soccer heads, go ahead and check out that USA game. They're playing in sub-freezing temperatures. They said it's going to be a minus 20 wind chill. I don't know why the hell they're doing that against Honduras, a team that they're better than in a must-win situation. You want optimal. They could have been playing in Florida. They could have been playing in anywhere. And they pick Minnesota and minus 20? I don't know. Anything before we get out of here, my band?
Nah, man, let's go.
Let's do it. So we shout out and we get out just like that, just like we came in. Yo, shout out to everyone that hung out. We love you so much for hanging out and supporting us. Tell your friends. Like we always say, that's the only way we can grow. That's Aaron Rabel. That's at Aaron is Blitzed. And I'm Jerry Bow at Jerry Bow Sports on Twitter. Peace.